Hola. Hi, everybody. This is Johanna Carroll. This is your Spiritual Mama Moment. For those of you that do not know me, I've been a spiritual counselor and a metaphysical teacher, an author of 4 books, and a radio show host, among lots of other things, for over 30 years. And I wanted to do a Spiritual Mama Moment because, first of all, I have clients all over the world that do call me their spiritual mama, and hopefully I can be that for you as well. And it's my intention to share some spiritual teachings and wisdom that hopefully will help you in your journey of life. And I'm going to be doing these twice a month, one under a new moon and one under a full moon. And first of all, I am not an astrologer. I'm not an expert in astrology, but I do understand energy and I do understand movement of that energy. And so the way that the moons affect the tides of the ocean, they're also going to affect your emotions of devotion for yourself out into the world as well. So we have to take a look really quickly at that, what that means. This is a real simple teaching. So here you are right now. Here you are. And we've got a new moon. So we're going to call in, welcome, invite, manifest something new, which is going to fill me up. And so when we have a full moon, this is when we release and let go. Here you are, full moon energy. Whoop. We're going to release. New moon again, new, manifestation, clarity of intention, full moon, release and let go. So I'm going to put my spiritual glasses on, my favorite saying. Let's put our spiritual glasses on so we can have some more clarity. And so I can really see as well. And so we just want to take a moment. We've gone through a couple of eclipses. It's been very, very chaotic. All you have to do is look in the outside world and you can see that happening. Whether you own it for yourself or your life's been a little upside down or confusing, we want to get some new thought around this. So when you are looking at new things spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, because we do live in those 4 planes of awareness, we really want to use this time to reimagine the dream, which is your life, and to get excited about that. And so we have to understand that a new moon is going to, remember, new moon, so it's coming in. Think of a wave, it's coming into you. So when you get clarity around what you are manifesting or drawing in, the results are generally there to help you on a much higher level. That's simply put. So, you want to look at this new book or chapter of opportunity that you're writing in the divine plan. So take the 4 planes of awareness: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. And we're going to take a look at that right now, because this really is, your spiritual health has got to start first. You also need mental health, and you also need emotional health, so that your physical body can be really healthy. But it's got to start with spiritual. And by the way, all of you that are in a relationship or beginning a relationship, start with the spiritual. This has nothing to do with religion. It's a spiritual foundation of friendship. Because if you start in the physical world by just jumping in and having sex too soon, that relationship can crumble. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So what does it mean to call in something new spiritually? It can be a new spiritual practice or a new idea or a new belief. It doesn't mean you need to dump everything. The greatest church in the world is being out in nature, as many of you already know and do, which is great. So maybe you pick a new trail that you're going to walk on, or you bring home, a rock or a pine cone that, even if you're in your office having a bad day, you can connect to that. And spiritually also, it can literally mean a church that you go to. This is the year of community, of unity. Is there a Reiki group that you belong to? Do you meditate by yourself? Do you meditate alone? Or the main thing, very, very simply put, is to unplug from all this electronic stuff and plug into your heart and your soul. Just take a moment, not to do, but to be. Spirit doesn't require you to do anything other than to allow the presence. And so even gazing at, a beautiful flower or the face of a child or one of your animals, that is a spiritual experience. Do something new with that. Do something new with that. And so then what happens, it rolls over into the mental plane of awareness. And so this is where we start to think about our life a little bit differently, because it got ignited and motivated by our spirit. And so we get new ideas and new ways of thinking, spiritual glasses on, clarity, new paradigm of thought. So it's not like you're judging everything that's right or wrong. You're just saying, hey, you know what? That might be a good idea. Maybe I'm going to go down to that bookstore and there's a lecture there that's going on. I want to see if I get really inspired by that. And so you can also literally get new ideas of business, how you're going to handle your money, relationship stuff that you're going through. You get a greater sense of and depth of clarity. But how can you start thinking about that? We have a really big tendency to think about things in the negative rather than the positive. If you're having a problem with someone or a situation, even at work, try to find a couple of things that you can think about that are really, positive for you in that environment. Doesn't mean you have to suffer for the sake of survival, but we want you thriving. So even in your thoughts, we don't want you coming home at the end of the day with a headache or, really being sad and stressed. Sad thoughts, lower vibration. We want you higher vibration. Thoughts of love and health and happiness. So then the law of action kicks down again once the thought is activated and we start to get inspired and motivated. I could do that differently. Yeah, I could do that differently. We start just having a feeling about that. Wow, that would probably make me feel really good. So one of my other favorite sayings is that the heart is the pillow for the soul. And this is where the home of your intuitive self lives. Do you have a telephone line to the divine in your own unique way? Or is the channel clogged? Is it plugged with negative thought and negative feeling? Where is that connection for you? And so we really want to take a look at that emotional plane of awareness. This is your feeling state of consciousness. What can you do that's new and different? Do you emotionally maybe overreact to things? Are you so sensitive that it takes you down, you have to go to bed for a couple of days? Being aware is one thing, being overly sensitive is another thing. They're really two different things. So I would like you to give some thought and feeling to that. And so emotionally, we all have the same desire. We want to be in the natural state of the soul, which is happy, content, and peaceful. So are you having chaotic thoughts and feelings? Or are you having calming thoughts and feelings? Are they lifting you up or are they pulling you down? This is not a game, again, of judgment. It's a game of awareness, the law of discernment. Is that working for me? If it's not, I might want to try something new and different. So, I really had this thought a couple of years ago when I was having a really big health challenge. Do our emotions and our thoughts affect our physical cells, what we're feeling like, health-wise? And it was really a great revelation for me because it absolutely does. And those of you that have had any sad, heartbreaking moments in your life, you probably didn't feel really good at the time. If you hold on to that, the cells of the soul have cellular memory. It can start to literally eat away at you and cause a disharmony, or as many people call it, a dis-ease. So, that physical body is your temple. That's your vehicle of light. That's what's carrying you through this lifetime. Your spirit, your mind, your emotions, your heart, your soul, and all of the plumbing that's in there. So if your physical plumbing is clogged, your channel, your telephone line to the divine is not clear. And so that can cause some confusing thoughts and feelings and a real sense of not being stable and solid. In this newness of you, the new you, the more evolved you, the more ascended you, what have you done in the past that maybe is making you ill, sick to your stomach, heavy on the heart, fried in the brain, stressed, all of that? How can you look at this in a new perspective? So, if you're in a situation and it's really debilitating, do you either grow or do you go, first of all? Or do you need to stop, look, and listen and say, you know, let me look at this, let me put my spiritual glasses on and get a new perspective and look at this a little bit differently. Try to find some positive elements. Try to find some positive elements and see how you feel about this, because energetically, you know, what you're putting out there, you're getting back in return. It's a law of cause and effect that we've talked about before. So, you know, you're a crystal. There's a great scientist in France many years ago who said, you know, we're a crystal instructor. We have this crystal in our brain called the pineal gland. And what does a crystal do? It attracts, you know, it's a receiver. You're a great radio tower for the divine and the physical world. So what are you attracting? You know, what are you drawing in? You all know about the law of attraction. But you're the one that's guiding that light, right? And so what are you calling in that's new? It would be a great time to get a new perspective and get rid of the blame game, because that doesn't help anyone. But, you know, again, take ownership for what you've been thinking and feeling. And is there a new way that we can look at things? A new attitude? And, you know, I always do talk about the attitude of gratitude. It's one of the most important things. And so we are bombarded by massive negativity out in the world. Sometimes it brings us down to our knees, emotionally and physically, with an illness. And so how do I regain my spiritual health? It's by having faith and belief in yourself, that there's a power far greater than you, that healing exists in all things. And it has to start not just with your spirit inspiring and motivating you, but how you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you're doing on the earth, and really honoring this body. So maybe something new, I actually started this, you know, a couple of weeks ago, is I really got rid of a lot of the sugar in my life. And I have to tell you, I feel a lot better. It's showing. And so nutritionally, you know, food is medicine. Maybe you do something a little new as far as, you know, what your intake is, the quality of that. And so are you emotionally, you know, stuffing yourself with, you know, items that are not necessarily blessing the body? So again, you know, don't make this complicated. Go to each plane of awareness, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, and write down one or two new things. Start with the spiritual, then go to the mental, thoughts, ideas. Maybe you have a new idea for, you know, a new product or something new that you want to do or participate in. Maybe a new adventure to a new bookstore or something like that. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. And then emotionally, you know, if you did that, what would that feel like? It would be exciting, inspiring, something new that's positive for you. And then, you know, in terms of your physical body, what can you do that's new, that's a little bit different? Remember, this is a holistic approach to bring you into wholeness, which you really already are. So sometimes we have to put the spiritual glasses on and raise the window shade and look at our life a little bit differently through the windows of the soul, correct? And so I just want to share with you that about 3 years ago, I really had quite an interesting event happen, that I had 2 emergency heart surgeries, and it kind of scared me, and I thought, that's really interesting. And no fear of death, obviously. Obviously, I'm still here, so I didn't go. But I did transform, because after my second surgery, I was in a profound meditation, and I saw, literally written in the air, the lost art of loving. And my conversation or dialogue with divinity was, what is that? And I heard book, and I'm like, you want me to write another book? Seriously? A lot of work. And so I said, okay, I'll scribe it, but you're going to write it, so channel it through me. And the end result, I have to say, which I was pretty happy about, was my new book, which I'm trying to find right now, called The Lost Art of Loving. Where the heck did I put that? And here it is, The Lost Art of Loving. And so you'll find this on Amazon.com, and it really became a channeled handbook for living a spiritual life that's healthy on all levels. And it has to do, a lot of it's focused on self-love and relationships, all kinds of relationships, people you work with, your family, all of that. And it really is a handbook for someone who's trying to live an ascended life at the best level. So again, you'll find that on Amazon.com. You'll find out more about me on JohannaCarroll.com. And so I'm going to see you, another Spiritual Mama moment, under the full moon, which is in a couple of weeks, where we're going to talk about how to consciously release and let go in a loving, wonderful way. So remember, it's all about newness now. So, you know, the next couple of weeks, come on, unplug all those phones, stop watching the TV, put some beautiful music on, light a candle, do a little journaling with your soul. A couple of new things, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You're going to feel a lot better. You will, and your soul will be happy. So this is your Spiritual Mama moment for now, and I thank you for listening and watching, and I wish you the very best in all good things. Bye for now.